we
Yeah.
re-signed Colton McKivitz, and
Yes.
we've brought in a guy like Pryor. And to me, it seems like we're kind of moving to more of a power style of a run game instead of the zone. Um, doesn't
Yeah.
that
I don't
pretty much
understand.
make
Yeah.
McKivitz a guard overnight?
He's 6'6". I don't know. I mean, I don't think he's as a starter. I don't. I don't really know what the Niners are thinking on that right side of the line because Matt Pryor is so not what they do. I mean, they've always been at like they want the right side of their offensive line to be able to do the outside zone stuff and that
Hmm.
Debo sweeps, like all their outside zone, like real perimeter runs go to the right. So all of a sudden that's off the table. Like if you think about it, in 2021 when they went on that run, it was Debo and Tom Compton leading the way. When McGlinchey went down, Tom Compton became the right tackle and Debo moved to running back. Everything changed. Like they haven't had that since Tom Compton left. And I felt like that was an element of the offense they wanted, like that right tackle who can get out and run on the outside zone runs. And McGlinchey hasn't been that for years. That's not McKivitz. It's not Matt Pryor. So I don't know what they're doing. Are they going to are they actually going to be like the Eagles and have a huge offensive line and just do zone reads up the middle? Is that what they're going to do?
Also, remember Colton McKivitz, or sorry, Compton's contract. It was structured way different than these guys that they signed on the guard and the tackle.
Yeah.
Pryor and
Yeah.
I forget his name. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like it seems more like they're planning on them to kind of play or have a decent time because they're paying them.
Well, maybe they're finally actually looking for a right tackle who's better at pass protection than run blocking. Because in the past, they've only been looking for right tackles who can fit their run blocking scheme, and whatever happens in pass protection is they'll live with. Which is how you get these 6'7" guys who weigh 295 pounds getting thrown around, and by bull rushes, but they can actually like run. It's like great. Well, what do you? It's a passing league, so maybe Kyle's figuring it out and they're changing it because down the stretch last year with Purdy, they were more of a play action passing team than a running team. So I don't know. Maybe they're changing. And honestly, McCaffrey's not an outside zone runner. He's not Mostert. He's not getting the edge like that. He's not. So maybe they're done with that. But I don't know.
That's
I
kind of
can't
why
see Kyle Shanahan giving up on the outside zone altogether. It's his baby. It's his dad's baby.
I feel the 49ers moved off of DeForest Buckner because they needed Eric Armstead for his run stopping abilities with the wide 9 and the 4-3 defense, which 4-3 defense is susceptible to the run. Wide 9's even more susceptible. You know what I mean? So it's personnel in that situation. And I think we're moving away from the zone because we don't have a Raheem Hostert because it's personnel. We can't.
Yeah.
Why make that a part of your game if you? Yeah. So I think it's like info in reverse kind of.
So maybe they're going to all of a sudden get just way bigger on, because really, if you look at it, what they've always had was a bigger left side of the line and a very small and mobile right side of the line for years because most of their outside zone runs go to the right. So maybe they haven't really been running outside zone effectively the last couple of years. Maybe they're like, you know what? Our offensive line is really small on the right, and we're not getting much out of it in the run game. So why don't we just get bigger over there? Possible. You got Feliciano and Matt Pryor; they're both big. And if you look at the Eagles, I think the only offensive lineman that starts there, at least last year, that was lighter than 325 was Kelsey. I mean, they have a ginormous offensive line, and so does Detroit, frankly.
And I feel with you go into more of a power style of a run game, it'll probably make them better in the beginning part of the season because I feel one of their issues was there was very good cohesiveness in the offensive line through all those fancy plays. So if you're running like deuces where you're doubling down on the tackles and then moving up to that's day one stuff. So I think they'll have a better start.
Deuces. That's the thing. I'm thinking about Javon Hargrave real quick. Like he's a bad run defender, excuse me. He's a great pass rusher, bad run defender. And it's not like just like, okay, liability. And he's going from a 5-man front to a wide 9. Like he's going to talk about deuces. He's going to get double teamed on those inside zone plays. Like what's going to happen there? He needs to be a 3-down player for what they're paying. They don't have to play him on first down if they got someone better. But the idea was that he was going to be a 3-down player for this team. So I'm a little concerned. Maybe they don't care.
It's not like you pull people out because it's a certain down. You are essentially pulling people out when you can, when the offense gives you the opportunity. So that whole down situation is just not something that happens during game time. You can on paper that.
I'm a little curious to see what Hargrave looks like in a wide 9. I mean, I know what he looks like as a pass rusher. He's great. And him next to Bosa is going to be cool. But as a run defender, like what's that going to be like?
if you don't want to
Doesn't
allow the
matter.
team to get substitutions, that's one of the reasons why I think the 49ers need to get a tight end, because I think the 22 personnel could be more deadlier than the 21 personnel. And if you keep all of them out there in the run formation, make them come out and get some big bodies to stop you, don't do any substitutions, spread it out. Now you got mismatches all over the line because you got
How
big
dare
buddies
you
out in space.
disrespect Kyle Juszczyk and his 1 touch per game?
I don't know.
How
I'm
dare
just
you?
saying.
I look, he's a good player, but for what they pay him, like, they don't use him enough. Like, they use him to go in motion.
Criminal. It's criminal.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
No crypto. Great call.
Thank you, sir.
Great audio and great setup too. Very professional. Thank you.